Hello everyone! Ultimate VirtualBox guide for all Windows versions. There is some time that you need to experiment on a PC, though it's possible thing that it can be risky at times. So one chance is taking old PC and do it there. Or even better and more convenient way is emulation or virtualization. It's basically the same. Either way, virtualization gives you an option to experiment with almost all crazy things you can imagine. Sky is the limit. Time that you can put into this for learning is the best way. There is so much to discover and learn. I honestly don't know any other better way to do it. You can download VirtualBox on their website virtualbox.org, and after you press on download button you will see following page. There is really important thing to know before you download it, knowing what is your host operating system. Most likely it will be Windows, but if it's Macintosh or something else, you need to follow which one of these host versions it is. Host version means your physical PC operating system. After download is finished, press Ctrl J and you will see Downloads tab on your browser. After that, press Show on Folder. Following folder will open and you can run your installation. Press Next. Choose your location. You can do it in here by pressing Browse, or in my case I like the location already, so I will leave it by default. Press Next, choose your options, press Next again, proceed installation now, yes, install. And you can choose to start Oracle VM already after installation. I will choose it right now. So before you start anything with virtual machine, you have to check some things. And first things first, Ctrl Shift Escape to open Task Manager and press Performance tab. And in there, make sure that you are highlighted the CPU tab. And in there, you have to look out for virtualization. It needs to be enabled. If it's not, you have to do following steps. Open Command Prompt, CMD, and type following. And in here you will find out your product model number, and by that you can look up in Google how to enable virtualization. Don't worry, the command you will need to type in will be in the description below. When you will discover your product model number, you will find out how to enter into your BIOS. For the most BIOSes there are delete key F2, F10. There are too many BIOS interfaces, so I will not cover all of them. I will show you the most common ones that you have to look out for in order to enable virtualization. After enabling virtualization on your PC, now you can create your first virtual machine. Click on New, and in here you can see empty window with name. You can type specific operating system's name, and the type of operating system and version will change according to the name, but you can choose any name as you wish. Let's try it now. As you can see, I typed Linux Mint, and in here you see version changed to the Ubuntu, because Mint is a part of Ubuntu operating system 3, and type changed to Linux. But today's video we are installing Windows 11. And as you can see, type changed again and version changed again. In this section machine folder you can see the place where your virtual machine will be stored. If you want to change this, you can press on the arrow on the right. If you don't want to do every single time, you can create a default storage location by pressing File, Performance, and then you can change it in here. So in the next tab, after creating a new virtual machine, you have to keep in mind a few things. Your host machine and virtual machine will divide the resources, so you have to keep in mind that your host machine is a priority. If your host machine won't run smoothly, your virtual machine won't neither. So in this case, I will adjust 8 GB of RAM, which is exactly half of my memory resources, to my virtual machine. It will be enough for my host machine to run smoothly, and it will be more than enough for my virtual machine to run smoothly. In next tabs, you can choose existing virtual machine, create a new hard drive, and in this case, this is what we are going to do. These are types for virtual machine hard drives. There are 3 of them. I'll choose the default one for the VirtualBox. Storage on physical hard drive, dynamically allocated and fixed size. It means if you choose, for example, 80 GB fixed sized, on your physical hard drive there will be 80 GB taken already. If you choose a dynamically allocated, as much as you will write information on virtual machine, the same amount will be taken on your hard drive, but no more than 80 GB. And in here you can see amount of hard drive you are allocating to your virtual machine. And this is the size of a hard drive you are allocating for your virtual machine, and this is a location in your physical hard drive for your virtual machine hard drive. Okay, now that you created your first virtual machine profile, you can choose to create another ones as well and group them. Let's find out how. Click on Tools, click on New, and then you can name your new virtual machine. I won't change in here any specific settings, just for demonstration purposes. I will show default configuration. And then shift click on both virtual machine profiles, then group, and then you can rename your group. The best thing is if you have more than one virtual machine profile, you can group them and organize them so it's easier for you to manage your virtual machines. Even now that we created the user profiles for virtual machines and grouped them, there is still a lot of things that we can change and adjust for better experience. Let's see what things we can change. Click on any of these profiles, right click and choose settings. There is a general information. In here you can change type, version and name if you choose so. Advanced settings, you can see the snapshot location of your virtual machine. Snapshots are really good if you are really interested of taking one specific part. It's like a save game for your operating system in specific location. And if you screw up your operating system in virtual machine pretty badly, you can return snapshot and then keep your work from that specific snapshot when the snapshot was created. Keep it in mind though that every snapshot increases the amount of hard drive storage space. So don't expect creating huge amount of snapshots. Each snapshot takes quite a lot of space in your hard drive. Description is a really good practice for your virtual machine to write down your username, passwords. For example, if you are not using your virtual machine for some period of time, after some while you can still log in, and if you forgot your username or a password, now you can look up in the description and see some notes about your users. And you can even encrypt your virtual machine so that other users can't use it. System settings show additional information. System settings show additional information. You can increase processor counts. Display settings are really good if you are trying to use it for your games. You can mark 3D acceleration and increase video memory in here. You can even record virtual machine, remote display. Storage settings, you can add a new hard drives or compact disk drives, optical drives. Audio devices, you can change it in here. Network devices, serial ports, USB ports, and shared folders. Shared folders are really good if you are really willing to add some files from your physical computer to your virtual machine. And user interface. If you are really expert in virtual machines and you already learned and master all hotkeys, you can disable interface if you're willing so. Okay, let's try to start our virtual machine. First things first, before pressing the start button, you need to add an optical drive in order to install it to run. And in here you can choose a disk file. Most likely it will be an ISO file. Choose your ISO, Windows 11, and if you will choose an option live CD, it will auto mount. But if you will not mark it, it will ask you to plug in when you start a virtual machine. By now you probably are wondering where to get an ISO for Windows 11. You can type in on Google Windows version which you are willing to install, for example Windows 11, and after that download, and the first site you will see will be Microsoft.com. This is an official download for Windows 11. It's the same applies with Windows 10 and or 8 or 7. Although the 7 or 8 you need a license key. Thankfully for Windows 10 or 11 you don't need a license key in order to download it. But if you are interested still using Windows 7 or 8 or older versions, you can download the VM versions of those from Microsoft site. Okay, now in here you can see full list of options. Choose your option that is best for you. Now that you got your ISO, you set it up, everything is fine now. Now we can start, finally. Be careful, there is a message, press any key to boot from CD. If you install it once, you are most likely not interested to boot it from CD again. So be careful, after installation make sure that you remove your CD installation. Now you can see the same window for installation, which is unchanged from Windows 8, and it's a really good thing in my opinion, because it's easier for end user to go through the setup process. Install now. As I told, I don't have a product key, so you just press I don't have a product key, and now you choose your Windows version, and now the following message will appear. In order to fix this problem, you need to follow a few steps. Close installation, press Shift F10, then reg edit. Register editor opens, locate local machine, system, setup, and create a new key. Name it lab config. Create a new values. These will be dword 32-bit values. Name those values bypass secure boot check, bypass TPM check. And after that, set their values like so. And now you can close this window and start your installation. Basically what these registry values do, they are bypassing TMP check and secure boot checks, which are needed for the newer Windows 11 version. You don't have to do these steps with Windows 10 or 7 or 8 or other versions of Windows. This applies only for Windows 11. Now that we created the bootable section of this operating system, we can press Now. You can restart it now. In here you can see Windows asks you a device name. It's basically the same as a PC name in the previous versions, so keep that in mind. In here you can press on sign in options in order to make a offline account. Okay, here you have it. Now you are good to go to test your Windows 11 even on a machine which is not capable of running it. Before I end this video, I'll show you some more tips for using virtual machine. First things first, insert additional CD disk image, install everything that they ask you to install, reboot. What that allows you to is customize your resolution and adjust it by your default screen resolution by pressing Home F. As you can see, now we are in a full screen mode. To keep in mind is a home key by default is right control, but you can change it in the settings. And all hotkeys you can see by pressing on virtual machine, and there you can see settings will be host S, snapshot host T, session information host N, pause, restart, shut down, and view host F, host L, host C, and so on and so forth. Have a nice day. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching.